Hi there, today I'm talking about how to rank number 0 in Google. So when I'm talking about ranking 0, what am I actually talking about here? Well, I'm talking about a featured snippet inside of Google that ranks above the number 1 listing. So why would you want to do this? Well, one, it brings a ton of credibility to your website. It shows that you're an authority, and also we've seen that these featured snippets have really high click-through rates. And then the second thing that's really cool is if you're using an Android phone and you're using the personal assistant, that's where Google pulls the information from to read to the actual person using the personal assistant. So super hot on ranking 0 right now and getting these featured snippets, and that's what we're talking about today. So when it comes to featured snippets and ranking 0, there's a lot of different kinds in a lot of different formats. But what's interesting is these are actually created by an algorithm that Google has that basically looks at this information in regards to a query and then pulls it in together and then delivers it as a featured snippet. What we've seen is increase in click-through rates if you have a featured snippet over 100%. So these are coveted positions in Google and definitely something your business is going to want to get. Now, there's a little bit of a misconception right now that basically schema.org, which is a markup that you can put inside of the code of your website to tell Google and other websites what your site's about, creates these featured snippets. That's actually not true, and based off of a recent study, we've seen that there's not really any correlation there. Now keep in mind that doesn't hurt, and we do think that schema.org is going to help a lot for personal assistance in the future. So you should be doing it, but schema.org is not necessarily going to relate to you having a featured snippet. There's other things you can do, and I'm going to jump right into that now. Okay, so now let's get into some strategies for you to rank 0 and have a featured snippet. So the first thing that you're going to want to consider is having a direct answer to a question at the top of the page and having just a little bit of text at the top of the page that's easy for Google to understand. We've seen that the algorithm comes in, kind of looks for that Q&A format, and then pulls that out into a featured snippet and allows that to rank number 0. So generally, if it's at the top of the page, that gives it a really good chance for it to be pulled in and featured in that snippet. But also we've seen that stuff lower down on the page if it's in kind of like an FAQ, Q&A type of format, and it relates specifically to a query and specifically to related queries, right? That can also be pulled out as a featured snippet as well. So you got to be really deliberate in the way that you're structuring content. And if it looks like to the algorithm that it's answering a question, the algorithm's going to pick up on that, pull it out as a featured snippet, and test that. Now, when you're structuring that top portion of your page, you're going to want to have that top portion be kind of a summary of everything else that's on the page, kind of those main items. Google really likes that. They pick up on that. They pick up on that pyramid type content formatting. So that's going to be really helpful for you. Another thing that really helps a lot to rank number 0 and create a featured snippet is to have long form content. Studies have shown that pages with over a couple thousand words are more likely to have a featured snippet and rank 0 in Google. In general, this is a good thing to do. It really helps your ranking. If it looks like an authoritative page that answers a lot of questions and it's doing that in a succinct way, in some cases with bullets, in some cases with Q&A, you're gonna have a better chance to have that information pulled by Google and used as a featured snippet and rank 0. Keyword research is super important. You're gonna wanna make sure that you know the exact type of queries that you're targeting. So use SEMrush, use the Google Keyword Planner tool, whatever your favorite tool is for keyword research, and make sure that you're targeting a top term and some related terms that are going to relate to a specific query, and that's going to allow you to have a better chance to have that featured snippet in rank 0. Get a list of all the biggest questions that people could potentially ask about the page. whatever the service or product is, and make sure you answer every single one of those in a succinct format that can be pulled out as a featured snippet. That's really going to help your chances, and we've seen that pages that do that often get the featured snippet. Why and how questions have a really big propensity to get pulled out as a featured snippet. So think about the whys and the hows that relate to your specific landing page. Okay, we've seen that ordered lists have over a 40% chance of being pulled out as a featured snippet. So make sure that you're using ordered lists on your landing pages to answer specific questions. Google's gonna crawl that, they're gonna see the question, the ordered list, they're gonna be like, this is a good succinct answer to this question. We're gonna pull this out and test it as a featured snippet and rank it 0. So that's a great way to structure your pages, and make sure you're thinking like Google is and the algorithm when you're creating this content. Now there's a variety of different types of featured snippets. One that we see a lot of is the cost answer, right? How much does something cost? So if you're answering pricing questions, there's a really good chance that that's going to get pulled out as a featured snippet as well. So if you can, directly address costs on your landing page in a bulleted list or in some type of easily digestible format, do that and you've got a great chance for that to be pulled out. Okay, so one other thing about featured snippets in ranking 0. They really need to be highly credible pages. We've seen that pages that are generally already ranking on page 1, in most cases, are getting these featured snippets. So it's what's already on page 1, and then and that's a result of backlinks, that's a result of long form content, that's a result of a really high quality landing page, a hub page, right, that links out to a lot of other information and is an authority on the topic. And then it's also a result of how the page is structured, right? So keep those things in mind, that you really have to have a good landing page. And then also, one of the big theories out there right now, and we believe this to be very true, is to have a high engagement rate. So people want to use this page, they're focusing on a certain part of the page that is easily digestible and really makes sense to be a featured snippet. With Google's new artificial intelligence and all the amount of time they're spending focusing on that and all the great strides that they're making, it's really important to have a high engagement rate on your landing pages, as well as be doing all these other things. Okay, so that's it for today. Good luck ranking number 0 in Google above the number 1 listing. Keep in mind, answer questions, have a summary at the top of the page, have high engagement rate. Make sure you're doing all the normal good things for SEO, have long form content, and make sure that you're structuring things in a succinct way that the algorithm can understand and wants to display through their personal assistants and also at the top of Google. Good luck ranking number 0. Have a great day.